Hey, folks. I want to talk to you real quick today about Governor Shapiro and this election threats task force or election integrity task force or whatever he's calling it that he has stood up in Harrisburg. So if you missed this, the governor has created this task force, this unit, under the direction of Al Schmidt. Al Schmidt's the hero who delivered Philadelphia to the Democrats in 2020 and was then given a medal by Joe Biden for his achievement. No, I'm not making that up. That's real, and you can find it online. So Al gave Philly to the Dems in 2020, got a medal from Biden, was called out by name by Donald Trump. So he's now in charge of the sorry, it's hard to say this with a straight face, election integrity task force that the governor has stood up. Now, there's about 9 million reasons why you ought to be terrified of what this election integrity task force is really all about. And I'm going to discuss that in a separate live stream probably later today, maybe even immediately after this. But let's just put that to one side right now, because I want to take some time to go into the details and the mechanics of why this is just as bad as you think it is. But here's the deal. The governor says that his concern is election integrity and that he's really focused on the idea that Americans just don't trust the results of elections anymore, and that's got to change. And that his task force is going to address that. Again, the way it's going to address that, I think, ought to terrify you, and we'll discuss that separately. But okay, let's just go with this. That's what the governor says. He says he is 100% dedicated to restoring faith in elections. We can agree on that. We absolutely can agree that that is completely critical, that Americans don't trust the results of elections anymore, and that is catastrophe for a constitutional republic. Because if you don't trust the results of elections, you don't respect the rule of law, everything comes crashing down. So let's take the man at his word. I'm going to read you a statement that has been put out by the Pennsylvania Patriot Coalition, echoed by a whole variety of groups around the state. The full text of this will be posted on Facebook, so you don't need to memorize what I'm about to say. But for the sake of clarity and emphasis, I'm going to read you word for word this relatively short statement that has been put out. And then what I encourage every single person to do, everybody who's watching this, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, hate both parties, you're the Green Party guy, I don't care. We could all agree at least on the fact that we have to have confidence in the result of the election. So I would encourage each and every one of you to send this statement or your own version of the statement to every elected official that works for you, and demand that they stand up in public and they echo this demand, so that the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania says to Governor Shapiro with one voice, we're all on the same sheet of music. So here's the statement. Governor Shapiro has announced the creation of an election threats task force. He says he is concerned about threats to election integrity. We, the people of Pennsylvania, are equally concerned. In fact, polling shows that only 20% of Americans nationwide have confidence in our country's electoral system. Therefore, we are calling on Governor Shapiro to commit the Commonwealth to a hand count of all paper ballots prior to the certification of the 2024 general election. This will maximize transparency in the counting process while still protecting every voter's individual right to a secret ballot method of casting a legal vote. All Americans, regardless of political orientation or affiliation, deserve to know that the results of the November election are fair and reliable. The governor says he's dedicated to the integrity of our electoral process. A hand count of paper ballots will demonstrate he means what he says. We can't keep going down this road where Americans don't believe the results of elections and government continues to ignore that. That's acid on the foundations of the republic. The only reason you accept the results of an election, even when a guy wins that you despise, is because you trust the result. And when we don't trust the result anymore, you got a timer running on how long the republic can possibly stand. So, Josh, you say you're all about us trusting the results of elections. Hand count the ballots, Josh. As visible and transparent a process as you can imagine, and let the chips fall where they may. Talk to you guys soon.